Welcome back, everybody, to Waadaplaya Retired Out Forward Short Leg with Camera series. Fifth test. After one long year, finally, India is playing a test match in England. England's back to back test matches, they played with New Zealand 3-0, but now, much awaited test match. We have a fast bowling captain, Bumrah. So, lot changed. Rohit Sharma is still quarantining, and we have Adi back in the States and Sanjay Dubey in UK. Firstly, how are you both doing? After IPL, I don't think we ever got together. So how is life at both of your ends?
Summer in England is always good. So yeah, nice sunshine. It's 7:30 almost. So yeah, good.
Excellent. And Adi, your journey back from India to America, all set? Back settled in?
Yeah, all good. Again, summer starting here as well, warmer weather, can't complain.
Very good, very good. Good stuff. So the fifth test, a lot of drama pre-test match with Rohit Sharma unfortunately testing positive. Who will be the captain? Finally, the vice captain Bumrah graduated to be the second test captain as a fast bowler after Kapil Dev. Let's get some reactions before the day review is done. Sanjay Dubey, you definitely have strong reactions, so talk to me about him.
So I was very surprised with Bumrah being made the captain, and it's not just a random bilateral T20 ODI series. It's a proper test captain. In my knowledge, I don't think Bumrah has had any experience of captaining at any level. I could be wrong. And yes, obviously the things you're looking out for in a test captain, and this is third or fourth choice effectively when you've got Rohit Sharma, then you've got KL Rahul, potentially the vice captain who would have stepped in if they were fit. But of the people who would walk into the side, you would have to think of Virat Kohli. I don't know whether someone asked him whether he wants to captain, because this would have been perfect, because he was leading the series 2-1. So I thought it would be Rishabh Pant, in all honesty. But yeah, Bumrah captain. I don't see him personally. He's got much future as a test captain, because one, he doesn't play most of the games in India. So I think this is a super short term arrangement for him. But yeah, I mean, good luck to him, and I'm sure his family, friends, everyone would be really pleased, because test captaincy is something you can be proud of.
Yeah. And Adi, we were just getting reactions about Bumrah's captaincy move. So, what do you think of it? Sanjay Dubey, of course, has given his opinion. What did you think of it?
I agree. I was hoping it should have been Pant. Like, I don't know why Bumrah. Like, Pant, he's your backup ODI or temporary captain. We can use his word. So, I don't know why they changed it up to Bumrah. Like, sure, Bumrah has a surer spot in the test team than Pant. Fair. But again, he doesn't play all matches. His workload is managed for a reason. It should be. So maybe they saw Cummins doing well for Australia and thought, okay, maybe Bumrah is our leader. So maybe that influenced them. Stokes also is like an all-rounder. So these days, teams are going beyond like, oh, let's make our batsman the captain. So it's a good thing. But yeah, it's just for one match because after this, technically, KL Rahul is the vice captain. Technically, even in Test side, if I recall. So you have Rohit, you have Rahul, then you have now Bumrah, Panikkar. So yeah,
Absolutely, absolutely. Look, again, my view is I'm agnostic who's vice captain, but Bumrah, I mean, who knows? In the background, he must have been a leader of the pack, whether it is Team India or Mumbai Indians. We never know until we try, is my point. But then we also saw some other Facebook reactions coming through, like Shubdeep was saying this should not become like the 1990s Pakistan team with all the captains and no 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 collaboration, etc. So, by the way, we have Sid from India after a very long time back on our show. Sid, welcome back. Reactions of Bumrah captaincy. I think he disappeared the moment we said Bumrah. But let's talk about the day one of fifth test. Edgbaston. England won the toss and chose to field. Right decision, Dubey?
Yeah, looked to be overcast, raining, stop start, and considering the it's a one-off game, and India would be under pressure, because opening day you're always up for a collapse, potentially a touring side. So yeah, I think fair decision, and it was a good start by England, getting India 5 down for 98 runs in under 30 overs. They would have fancied their chances to bundle them up in under 150, 170 probably. But obviously, Pant probably played one of the most memorable innings we would see from any Indian batter in overseas conditions. So yeah, it was a fascinating day's cricket. But yeah, I think a fair decision by England to bowl first.
Yeah, and Adi, looking back, right, we've been watching cricket for a long time. If you go 1990s, an overseas test match, imagine no Sachin Tendulkar, no Sehwag, no Ganguly, no Dravid. We never imagined teams getting 350. Here, except Virat Kohli, there are no big names. And how pleasing is that? Is that story?
Yeah, it is. It is very pleasing. And on the comment of England bowling first, Paul Collingwood is their assistant coach, right? So he was speaking at the end of the day. He mentioned that they decided to bowl first because they're chasing so well. So they're like, why spoil a good thing? Because they've been doing really well chasing totals against New Zealand. That's like their whole, that's how they've gotten back as a good team. So why fix a broken thing? And also, like, even 400 total is not safe in England now, right? So the pressure is on the team setting that total. But amazing comeback, thanks to Rishabh Pant's fabulous knock. I would say probably this was his best test innings, like best test 100, I should say. Innings probably Gabba, but best test 100 for sure, because 96 for 5, no support from top order, overcast conditions, played your time. Then it got sunny. Then in the last session, you took the ballers apart and got India to a respectable total, right? So, yeah, really overjoyed with how he took. But I would say I'm disappointed with how the top order played. Like, first things first, we did well in last year because Rohit and Rahul were giving us those starts. Even in challenging conditions, 20 overs, they were like playing 15, 20 overs, even if they're not getting runs. Today, it was Kohli's decision was, Kohli's, he's to blame for himself, even Gill, both. And then Shreyas Iyer too, like strangled down the leg side. People say unlucky, but why did you flick it? So there were only two good balls, Pujara and Vihari. Like I would say, like ballers got those wickets. All the other three were like, man, come on, you shouldn't get out. So it was disappointing from India, but hopefully second innings is better. So
Absolutely. And we were saying, Sid, welcome back on the pod after a long, long time. Hope you're doing well. First, let's get the reactions of Bumrah captaincy before you go into how the day was.
Uh, Honestly, I need to see Bumrah, the bowlers in on the field and the kind of fields he sets to talk more about his captaincy. Um, uh, my instinct says he would be a very good captain, and I know it's been so long that Pat Cummins is already proving a lot of people wrong that you can't have a fast bowler captain. And I mean, I know there's workload and elements like this, but I think that he's a thinking cricketer. He knows what he's doing, and some of it should trickle down to his captaincy. But it's too early for me to comment based on just this test match alone. I need to see what kind of fields he's setting.
Okay. And we have Rishabh Pant's manager from Delhi joining in, Shivam Gupta. Welcome back. And how do you feel about Rishabh being vice captain and Bumrah being captain of Test?
See, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to read too much into that. I mean, ठीक है. See, Bumrah is being just rewarded for being the bowler spirit for India for the last few years. Right? He is the one of the very few all format cricketers that we had, and let's be honest that he has been the top bowler for us apart from Ashwin, but Ashwin just plays Test, right? So all format bowler, top international bowler, top of rankings in each format for the last 3 4 years. So he's been rewarded for those performances. As a captain, I don't think he's right fit purely because uh, I haven't seen him captain anywhere anytime before, right? Yes, there's an argument to it that even MS Dhoni had never captain and then he became captain, right? But not every story can be an MS Dhoni story, right? So logically, it would have made more sense if Pant would have been a captain because he has IPL captaincy experience. He's captain in the white ball Indian team as well, so it would have been a logical choice. Having said that, I mean, ठीक है, Bumrah as a captain, it's I mean, as Sid said, right? It'll be interesting to see that the kind of field settings he employs. But just one thing, I hope that sometimes I believe that when bowlers become captains, they tend to underbowl themselves. You've seen that with Stokes. You've seen that sometimes I remember even Wasim Akram used to do that. Pat Cummins is an exception to this. I hope Bumrah does not do that, and he sort of takes up the responsibility and bowls those difficult overs, but truly amazed by today's knock. Absolutely great. I hope he wins the IPL next year. Uh, that will be sort of the icing to the cake. But truly amazing innings. I think easily within a couple of hours, 150 became 350. As simple as that. And let's not forget Jaddu. I mean, he did not let his ego come in between. Never tried to. Although I didn't see the match live, but I was going through the commentary regularly. But no shot in anger. Never tried to copy Rishabh Pant. He just hold his end and yet scored runs. Right. If it would have been just block from the other end, we would have still been 270, 280. But even Jadeja was, cashing in on every loose ball. That's why we are 330, 340. So yeah, extremely happy. But let's not be overjoyed, because if Pant and Jadeja can do this, imagine what Root, Bairstow, and Stokes can do, right? And the kind of chasing form that England are in. So I think this innings has ensured that we're still in the match. Otherwise, if we would have got out for a sub 200 score, then the match was over. So due to this innings, we're still in the match.
Absolutely. And Sid, let's get your reactions on the playing 11 of India. We had a dilemma about Jadeja versus Ashwin. We ended up going with Jadeja. On top of the tree, we were looking at either Mayank Agarwal coming in with no practice or figure out between Vihari and Pujara who will open up. Eventually, Pujara opened up and Vihari number three, and then Ashwin missed out. So, good choices.
I feel that playing Jadeja is obviously a better choice. It's already paying off, and even if I mean you look at the combination, I don't think Pujara and Vihari, even with their county stints, are doing that great in these conditions. So we needed that cushion of a Jadeja, and Jadeja has always proven himself as a batsman in these conditions. And I know there's this talk of Stokes and his team in an uprising, and it is true to a lot of extent that it is a different English team. But we also have to understand that when we look at the New Zealand series, New Zealand was one shot by a bowler in both the Test matches, and that gave a lot of chances to England to actually build up. If you see, and I feel that Jadeja comes as that X factor, if you will, because because New Zealand never had, they only had Bracewell, and who is not really, that great of spinner of a pedigree. So I feel Jadeja is the right choice, and I feel going forward we have to choose either. It's a either or permutation combination between Vihari and Pujara. I know it's very wrong on Pujara with his services that he has done, but I feel we cannot have two blockers in these situations. A case in point in what happened in today's match. And see, England is changing that style of batting. Lees is a very orthodox batsman who is actually collecting runs now. So if you have both Vihari as well as Pujara just blocking the ball and not taking those runs, not putting it around the park, there's no point of having two batsmen like this. You can have anybody else. I mean, I'm not sure if Mayank is the right choice, but I feel both of them. It's not going to do any good to us. We are not living in times where we could have a Jeffrey Boycott blocking the ball all day long and still expecting results. Because if you see, Anderson was feeding on that in the beginning because the balls were getting blocked. That gave the fuel to Anderson. And what Pant did was just the antithesis of that. That he just started whacking him around and forced them to change their lines. So I feel either drop Pujara or Vihari. Don't have these two in the same 11.
It's a
So I
great
think
point.
just to add to that, just to add to that, see, these were playing because Rohit and Rahul both were injured. So I think the question is, if Rohit and Rahul are fit, then who out of these three would play? From Pujara, Vihari, and Shreyas, only one can play.
Vihari.
Shreyas, of course, is out. So either Pujara or Vihari. That's the basic choice.
I would say Vihari because I think it's time we look at future. And in Test cricket, you need somebody who can play that sheet anchor role. And Pujara has done his years. I feel that we would need a Vihari
Yeah.
to for those services. Yeah.
It is a great point about the strike rate because you can see the complexion of the game completely changed in the second half, as Sid rightly pointed out. So, Dubey, let's bring you in. I'm going to read a comment of yours from WhatsApp and I want you to explain this. Best ever test keeper we have had by some distance, Rishabh Pant. So, are you
Easy.
taking a dig at somebody or?
This is by no this is not a stretch of imagination. Look at in our lifetime, which are the test keepers we've had. From the times of Nayan Mongia, Ajay Ratra, we had a full 7-8 years of Mahendra Singh Dhoni. I think probably the most dismal years of overseas cricket we've had for a while. I think we went backwards under Dhoni's captaincy. He did play a few knocks here and there, but never I would recollect anything of any recognition in overseas cricket. Home record, India has always had a great home record. Just purely in terms of batting skills, I would go so far as to say that Rishabh Pant is the best match winner we've had since Sehwag. Because even with Virat Kohli scoring so many runs, 100 after 100 in 2018, scoring so many hundreds in the 2018 Australia series, England series, but not necessarily making a difference to the result. Whereas Rishabh Pant in just 2-3 years, the knocks he's played has been very, very meaningful. You look at Gabba, you look at the Chennai 100, you look at a couple of 90s against West Indies. I think it was his first series. So I'm more than happy to put my neck on the line that he'll go down as one of the greatest keepers we've had. But obviously the anomaly is that he will have the same problem that Sehwag had. For some reason, he couldn't crack T20 cricket. One day cricket, he'd probably do well, but depending upon where he bats, etc. But yeah, I think he's a phenomenal player, and we have to just let him be because he will give us these days, which is just going to be absolutely memorable. 73 overs, 330. This is the highest number of runs we've got on day one in England, and this is 17 overs short of a full day's play. So imagine the amount of character and just the flamboyancy he has. And I think if you were at Edgbaston today, you would remember this forever.
I think
Absolutely.
just to add to that, see, after Gilchrist, I think I have not seen a player of this talent, pure talent, right? Coming down the track to Jimmy Anderson, reverse sweeping him, hitting a six and going down on the floor. Of course, Gilly did not used to do these antics, but pure out and out attacking, match winning batsman. Just as Duveji said, you score innumerable hundreds, right? But if it leads to draws, no point of those innings, right? So I think Pant is right up there. He's no longer a keeper batsman. I think he is the solid core of current Indian middle order.
And just one last comment on that. I've seen a lot of material on social media which is saying, oh, England have probably changed the way Test cricket has been played over the last few months. But Pant has been doing this for 3-4 years now. So, but yeah, I mean, he's a fantastic player.
So,
In fact,
Pant,
I have sorry.
go ahead, Sid.
Uh, so I have not been following IPL, and I was having this online debate, and I have I'm so relieved today that I always kept saying that Pant is a red ball batsman. He probably that's how probably Farooq Engineer used to bat. I don't know. I haven't seen him bat, but I was told that he used to rip apart fast bowlers. And what people also forget is look at some of the balls that Pant defended today. It's not like he doesn't have a defensive technique. He goes after the bowlers, but he knows when to stop as well. Obviously, sometimes it doesn't fly off. It doesn't fly off. But you just look at his numbers and pure statistics. You cannot. And he's somebody who has. I mean, look at the lines that Anderson was bowling and Broad was bowling and Potts was bowling. And I was telling this to my friend that if Pant manages to stay, none of these guys can clock 140 and they will get tired, and then you would see what happens and see what happened after that. That was the Pant factor.
And just the sheer audacity. See, when somebody of of Jimmy Anderson's caliber is bowling, right? I don't know what 600 wickets, the most wickets for a pace. I don't know. He's playing since I don't know before I was born. It's more than what I 25 years since he's been playing, right? And he comes down the track for the first ball that he's playing Jimmy Anderson. So the sheer audacity, right? That to hell with you, you are Jimmy Anderson, Vakari, whoever you are, I'm going to come down the track and hit you over your head. So that sheer audacity is just great to watch.
Yeah, and Adi, let's bring you in. I think the England bowlers got shaken up. If you look at Jack Leach and Joe Root, Jack Leach is what, 7 runs per over on day one. He got clobbered.
Yeah, so I think there was a comment also on this, right? Like Pant doesn't thrive as much in ODIs and T20s. I think it's mostly to do with situation. In T20s, he come in at 4, 5, 6, like 5, 6, 7. That is a tough spot to be in generally, and ODIs as well. Like he's not in your top three. If you like radical idea, but if you open with Pant in T20 and see, and if he comes off, the match is done, right? So those are challenges in test matches. He has time, so it's not like hey today he hit it
And
like
Aditya, just to your point, he batted up the order, I think, in the South Africa series and did reasonably well. Scored
exactly.
two half centuries, I think.
Correct. He did reasonably well, like not amazing, but did reasonably well. So you have to take those stats of ODIs and T20s with a pinch of salt and see like which position, what match condition they've come in, right? And on England, I think the biggest thing today was how he attacked like Jack Leach. He never ensured that he got settled, and he was always like on the charge with him, right? Like every over, he was trying to hit at least one boundary and sometimes like more. So that kind of mindset kind of flustered Jack Leach because New Zealand never attacked him like that. So against New Zealand, and I think the third test, he got 10 wickets, man of the match as well. So he's coming off like a high of confidence. He's doing well. But that was the good thing where he ensured Jack Leach didn't get settled in into a line and length. And the other part was, I think Stokes missed a trick where he should have bowled Root earlier, right? Like left hand, rough, outside off. It's not that easy to hit, and that's how Pant got out. But good for India that he took a while to get to that tactic. But this is the challenge right now. In the morning, when there was overcast conditions, the pitch had something. England bowlers seemed really tough to play. Now, sunshine, boom, gone. Right, like new ball gone, 15, 20 overs. That will be a big challenge for India as well, right? Like if England bat like 1 or 2 sessions, this total will be like gone, right? Like in batting friendly sunny conditions. So we need to like I think match is still slightly in England's favor given that because unless we get overcast conditions and we bowl well and get them out, it's going to be tough. And in the last innings, we need like 400 plus, right, to be safe because we've seen how England can chase and weather's unpredictable. So all in all, England bowling was okay, but nothing too great because when things were going against them, they didn't do much. Like they just kind of submitted, right?
Dubiji, how are the weather conditions expected? I just wish it rains heavily now, washes out the tests, and we retain and we win the series.
I think I was looking at the forecast. Generally, it's quite accurate 20-30% every day chance of rain. But because of the, you know, unlike in India in summer, 4:30, 5 o'clock, you can't have an extended session for more than half an hour at best. But here, I mean, you could still play at almost 8 o'clock. But yeah, 1.5 hour extra every day, you should be able to get through most of the overs. And the pace at which the game is going, I'm sure England will try and score at the similar rate when they are batting. So I personally think the match will definitely I don't think the rain will have much impact in terms of not getting a result. But I think Jadeja would probably be the key. If England start trying to score too many runs against Jadeja, then I think Jasprit Bumrah's captaincy on his first stint will be truly tested. Because if Jadeja
It
can
will
catch it,
test it.
which he does on most days in Test cricket, then I think he can rotate the bowlers very well. But if Jadeja starts going for runs, which is not necessarily happened in Test cricket, I can't remember. So I think that'll be a problem. But we'll see what happens.
See, on that only, so see, I saw a couple of instances in the New Zealand series. Even today, there's a lot of talk going around that Ben Stokes is a great captain, extremely aggressive. There were some small snippets going around that in the New Zealand series. I think uh, there was this Matt Bracewell. So he hit a couple of sixes to Jack Leach, and the commentators and Stokes did not drop the long on log off, right? He kept them inside, and I think the next ball or the after a couple of balls, the batsman got holed out to mid on, right? So all commentators were like gung ho, amazing captaincy by Stokes, always attacking. Even today, and in fact, one of the commentators he actually sort of spelled it out that when Pant hit Leach for a couple of boundaries, Leach actually signaled that push the man back, but Stokes said no, keep him inside. So you need to understand that this sounds good, looks good, okay, that aggressive captain continuously, keeping attacking feet. But sometimes you have to be smart also. See, this was a 230 run partnership. Once the partnership reached 100, 120, 130, you could have, tried to spread out the field, control the flow of runs. And Pant is a player, who will get irritated if he does not get the, one boundary every single over. And once you control the runs, he'll then, himself, in trying to play those attacking shots, trying to get those non-existent boundaries, will give you the wicket. So sometimes, you just need to be smart. It does not, I mean, yes, ultra aggressive captaincy is good, but sometimes you need to be smart in terms of, being negative in the fields when required. So it necessarily is not right to always have attacking fields, right? Sometimes you need to spread out the fields to get the wickets.
Great
One
points
thing I'd
there.
say, I'm fine with this kind of play, to be honest. So last year I went to watch New Zealand versus England, the last day of the Lord's Test, where they needed 260, and me and my daughter, we both went to sleep. That's how boring it was. I don't think anyone's sleeping this summer at Test cricket. So full marks to Brendan McCullum and Ben
Uh,
Stokes.
actually, what Stokes brings to the table, and it's he's I mean that flavor of captaincy. I mean, I know his captaincy is yet to be judged, but the personality, I feel it's probably what Imran Khan did to Pakistani cricket. It just looks a different side. They're not playing for draws. It's very evident in their batting. You know, Bairstow last year looked a shadow of the man he is today. He was playing more freely. I mean, I recall those Chennai images when Folks and Bairstow, they just look like they need a therapist more than anything else. So I think it's that brand that he's building in. Probably he gives some really good pep talk, and I agree with the fact that yeah, there are strategic issues with this captaincy, which I saw in the New Zealand series as well. There were a lot of things that actually went wrong, and he got lucky as well. And we all know he has a good luck on his side. Look at any of his great innings, and you would know that Stokes has that the rub of the green. But I think we need captains like this. We need personalities like this to keep Test cricket engaging. Otherwise, it's just a very boring format for others. For a purist like me, it's heaven. But we need more
No,
Stokes in the.
absolutely, absolutely. I think Stokes is the best captain for England, right? But just what I'm trying to say is that uh, it does not make sense to have all the fielders inside when all your bowlers are going at 6 runs per over. So and maybe keeping a deep mid wicket, deep mid on will give you a wicket, right? The batsman will get holed out in the deep. Yeah, but agreed. England, Bairstow has sort of changed the face of English cricket. I think with Root, it was just hundreds and hundreds and losses. That's about
Yeah.
it. But with Stokes, I think the sort of there's a big change in probably what Morgan did for them in white ball.
And one big problem that England is facing right now is even the biggest names out there in county cricket. You look at their averages; there's no automatic fit per se. They might have to call a Darren Stevens, who's 45 years of age right now, if you go by numbers. So Alex Lees, all of them are in their 40s. Zach Crawley. It's pretty evident that he has a very glance heavy, flick heavy kind of a game, and so they're investing in potential because they don't have any choice. And I think much of it is because I think Brendan McCullum believes in him. I remember Suman sending that clip when Brendan McCullum said that he wants Ollie Pope to be in the team. So I think they are not spoiled for choices like us. We are getting ready-made products. So I think he's doing the best with what they have. That's what I feel.
Indeed, and we can't underestimate England. So, Adi, what can we
Yes.
expect tomorrow? If you were Jadeja, would you attack or would you play till lunch with
I
Kane?
would attack. I would attack. I don't trust Shami, Bumrah, and Siraj. If it's overcast, all three could be done in like 1 or 2 hours, right? So, and then you rather try to hit out rather than being stuck at 75 not out or something, right? So, if it, I think I just saw the weather. I think tomorrow it might be slightly overcast. There's a chance of rain as well overnight. So you don't know. Pitch gets damp. It's tough. So today as well, I was kind of disappointed by Shardul's approach. Like fine, like 1 of 12. He's good when he hits them. Fine. If you get out, it's fine. But if it comes off, you score like a quick 30, 40, which will help India. So yeah, those things are left. And then yeah, also like as we are on Shardul, looking at the pitch and day 4 and 5 were fully sunny, no rain in sight. I think India missed a trick by not playing Ashwin instead of Shardul. So let's see how that pans out on day 4 and 5. But yeah, overall, I think England, it's going to be tough. We need to get at least a 100-run first innings lead to be safe, is what I
Ashwin's
would
not
say.
got the visa to play in England. He's only got the visa to warm the benches. So
Okay. On that note, I also want everybody to reserve comments about Shreyas Iyer and Virat Kohli. There's one more innings in this Test match. We can talk about them after they get another chance. But
No,
advantage.
sir, we have to talk. Please, we have to talk. I am completely irritated by the sight of Virat Kohli getting out and standing there for, I mean, for no reason at all. Like, I don't know what has happened. The ball has sort of magically hit the stumps and for no fault of his. Same story in IPL, same story in ODI, T20 Test. I mean, you got out, just go away from there. Yeah. It's irritating, it's frustrating to see Virat Kohli like this. We have
Yeah.
to talk about it.
But today he got
Like,
beaten by the pace. I think he was doing the right thing by leaving. I think
Sometimes he gets beaten by the pace, sometimes he gets beaten by the spin, sometimes he gets beaten by the fielder. The same old story, sir. I mean,
I think
I don't
I
know
think
what
the
is wrong.
see the fan in me will always support Kohli, but the rationalist in me is just even the rationalist in me is crying right now because you give the ball to me, I know I have to bowl outside off stump to him. So just think about internationally trained athletes, and I don't know like what's going wrong with him, whether it's in the head or in the technique. I really wish Kohli comes back to what he was. I know he's leaving a lot more than he was, which is a very good sign. Which is a very good sign. A sign of a batsman in form is he knows which deliveries to leave, and he looked in control for a while today. But again, that's the fan in me who wants him to do well. I know I can't fight Mayur on this. His record is really really bad as of today, and I just hope he's two innings away from 100 or one innings away from a 50.
but let's overshadow Shreyas Iyer. I think even I can bowl bouncers to him and get him out. That's how the bowlers have worked him out, unfortunately. But we cannot underestimate England tomorrow. So hopefully Anderson Anderson is bowling well. He got 3 wickets out of the 7 which fell. So hopefully he doesn't come and clean the tail up and we are stranded on 345 or so. I think 360 or 350 seems like a decent score. I know there is no safe score in test matches, but India would be happy if they get anything over 350. Dubey?
yeah, I think to be honest, anything from now on is a bonus. Rishabh Pant has saved a lot of criticism, which would have come Pujara, Shreyas, Iyer, and everyone else's way. So definitely, I think it's for the bowlers now to make up for at least back the Indian batters and then get some wickets. I checked the forecast as well. I think in the morning it might rain a bit. So yeah, just completely keep going for it and try and get as many runs as you can, and then it'll be over to the bowlers. We got four seamers, so at least in that department, we've ensured that we've got more choices, and hopefully all the tactics which Jasprit Bumrah will pull out will work for him because it's a big day for him, and there'll be a lot of criticism his way if things don't go well. So yeah, it'd be interesting. Suddenly, I see a lot of people have joined us live as well. So guys, if you haven't done so already, haven't done so already, please do smash the like button. We do match reviews, etc., and definitely through the course of this test match, we'll be doing it. Back to you, Sumit.
I feel that one of the biggest strengths we have is if you look at English attack, it's a very unilateral attack. You've got similar bowlers who are going to swing the ball, except Stokes, who who's probably the only one right now who's clocking 145, 140 Ks. But we've got four very different kind of seamers. And I think when you look at the English batting attack with Lee, Crawley, Pope, they still have those confidence issues. And I'm so happy that Folks is not playing because he is a real threat. He's somebody who can rotate the ball well. So I think we should go with that confidence that we have played in these conditions before. They have an untested batting lineup. And obviously, against New Zealand, we have to take the outlier of Jamieson being away for a match and Bracewell being there. So we have to factor in those outliers. So it's not like we cannot do it as a bowling unit. Lord Shardul with his hand has a lot of tricks up his sleeves, but again, we have to understand this is not the root era where they would have been happy with a draw. they I mean, we have seen this against New Zealand. They would want to smash it out of the park. So that's the we are fighting with an attitude more than anything else.
Absolutely. Good second day coming up. Hopefully, weather stays out. Shivam, thanks for joining in. Sid, great to see you back. Adi, Sanjay Dubey, great as usual. Hopefully, Jaddu gets that Talwar celebration going tomorrow. I think that will be a perfect start to the day. And let's see if India can pull this off or England will fight back. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all the engagement and see you tomorrow. Thanks, chaps.
Thank you.